Hey guys, I am just doing a quick video to say hi, and I've been busy cleaning parts, and I actually got my parts washer out and working, so that's really cool. I'm rapt about that because it's good to be using that again, because it's just a tidier, easier way to do parts. Yeah, well, I just wanted to show you a quick something. Because of lockdown, I can't travel out to the Stihl shop because I'm in lockdown. So, I had a problem. I'll just find another one. I had a problem in that I had two triggers or throttle triggers for the 200Ts broken. You can see it broken there. Alright, broken. I had two of those, so I must have scavenged these broken ones to fix other ones at some stage, because I remember doing that when I was working for these guys who got their saws off. Anyway, so because I've got three of the rear handles, they had all perfect triggers working on them, but they didn't quite fit the 200Ts. So what I did was I carefully cut one off, and then I plastic welded it back together with a soldering iron. Now, it's not quite perfect, and it's not a permanent fix by any means, but it's a lockdown fix because I can't go out and get one of these. So, yeah, this is going to do for now. It may break, but we'll be able to get this all going and tune it and all that sort of thing. I'm not sure how long term this would be, given that it's only going to ever have pressure going like this on it and not that way, which would probably break it. I'm hoping that it's going to be a reasonably good fix. So yeah, I guess a bit of Kiwi ingenuity there to solve a problem to keep this video going in lockdown, which is cool. I'm absolutely stoked about that. And the other thing I'm stoked about, I'll just put this away first. The other thing that I'm stoked about is that I found my hat. I got my old one back. It was in the computer room. I kept on saying to everyone, "Oh, I've lost my hat, where is it?" And Samuel, my oldest boy, he goes, "What, you mean this one that's been sitting here for ages?" And I'm like, oh, just didn't see it. It was my fault. But that's what happens when people move my stuff from its place, I don't know where anything is then. That's cool. And also, just wanted to show you ceramic bearing, ceramic seals. That's what they use. I smashed this one out, so it's a bit huckery now out of the case. So there's that, and I'm going to be using, where are they? Buried. I'm going to be using these, which are the 026 seals. 026 seals, so I've got heaps of those. Yeah, and you can see part number on there for those. So that's what I'm going to be using. I find them better than the ceramic seals. They're not going to break as easy. You don't need to press them in. You can just hit them in with like a socket head, like a deep socket. And also in my goings on, I found gaskets and the heat shields, new ones for the 200. So yeah, it's all coming together really nicely. So yeah, and then the parts washer's doing its job as well. Oh, second, stay there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, the parts washer's doing its job as well. And I had to clean it all up, but it's going well again. So I'm stoked about that. And I'm just about to clean up the piston a bit. Get that all cleaned up. Piston and crank. So everything goes in there nice and clean now. Cool. That's all cleaned up. I'm going to scrape the carbon off the top of this as well. So, yeah, that's me. So I'll blow that all out with air. And we'll be done. I've got basically all that's left to clean now is just the nuts and bolts or screws and stuff like that. So they're just like soaking in a bit of the Vario Clean that I love to use. So that gets the parts all nice. Let's put a bit of that in there. And yeah, and I've just got water in here because that's what Vario Clean rinses off with, and it works very well. I find it works excellent. Yeah, really cool. Great to have my parts washer out again and being used. So, it won't be long now, probably tomorrow though, when well, depending on this announcement for COVID actually, that the government's supposed to be announcing at 3 o'clock today, which I think is in about half an hour, whether or not they're going to increase the lockdown. I think they will, definitely, because there's been more cases and stuff like that, so they're definitely going to do that. So, average, because my wife and the boys and I and the doggo, Echo, we're all going to go away this weekend down to Mount Taranaki, and where we're going to go see our family down there, and because one of our nieces is having a baby shower, so that's cool. Always like the baby stuff. And then we were going to go to the snow as well. So, but I'm thinking they're increased lockdown, so that's another weekend hopefully, because every year we try to go to the snow, we just never got there, and it's just crazy. So we'd actually like to take our children to the snow one year. That would be nice. But so if I get let out of lockdown and I'm allowed to travel with family and go down there, no videos for you guys until I don't know when, actually, to be honest, because I've got so much on. If we come out of lockdown, I've got so much on, helping friends and stuff like that. But if we don't, then I'll be seeing you here tomorrow, hopefully, this is my plan, for the first part of the build. And we'll be looking at the bearings, case assembly, get the piston on. These saws go together relatively fast, so those will be the three main things. I've left the bearings in there, so they're good. We're not going to press them in there, but I may have a look at some on the other saws and how to press them in, but I'm just going to leave them because it's not necessary, and they're a little tiny pain in the ass bearing. Hang on a second, I'll just wash this one. second. So basically, there's the bearing. So they've got a little roller type deal in there. You can see the outer race there, I think, is a bit of nylon plastic, all right, that sits in there. And that also sits in between those rollers as well. So they go right through in between the rollers, that nylon does. So that sets the sort of the outer case part of the bearing, and then the inner race of the bearing is actually the I've got a crank here, so here's a crank, and so that goes on there like that, and the inner part of the bearing, so can you see it sits on in there like that. It's got this bit on here, so that goes into there and sits nice up and hard in there. Okay, so yeah, that is how those work. Those bearings work. They're a funny little bearing. Yeah, I think they just did it like that for space, basically, because there's not a lot of space in there. There's just a tiny saw. But yeah, interesting. I just thought I'd show you that. That's the only reason why I cleaned that. That's I don't even know if that's a good bearing. That is a genuine Stihl one though, because I don't know if you can see it, but it says along the top, it's going to focus, not really, but it says along the top of here, it says Germany. So that is actually made by Stihl in Germany, I'd say. What else? That's about it. I'm not going to spend too long on this one because I've got some rest of that stuff to clean up, and then I've got a bench to tidy up. I've got a pull start to pull apart and clean, and same with the chain brake and clutch cover as well. So I've got to clean that and pull start. And in my wanderings, I found some pull cord that I didn't know I had. So that's the perfect size as well for these saws. So that's going to be cool. Yeah, whenever I start to build a saw like this and I'm looking for bits and pieces, I always come across stuff, because I start going through my stuff and I'm like, oh, that's right, I've got that and that, and oh wow, you know, because you just forget what you've got when you've got boxes of chainsaw bits sitting everywhere. So yeah, and then of course, after this series, we're going to do a series on the MS261, which is 60cc Pro Saw. Really looking forward to that. So that's still to come as well. I haven't touched that one. You can still see it's got all its carb out. So I haven't even got back to looking at the carb situation on that as well. But I do have a replacement carb. Basically, I've got to put it in there and see if it'll fire up. See if it'll run right. And if it does, then that eliminates that problem. But we'll get on to that later on, because I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff on that. It's going to be a partial tear down, one so I can clean it because it's not up to my specs clean wise, and one so I've got a better fuel tank for it. I've got some newer side covers or a pull start cover, and bits and pieces like that. So we're going to be going through all that. So I'm not going to fully tear down that saw, because as far as I know, it doesn't need it. I pressure tested it, it's fine. So, cool, that's it. That's it from me. And we will see you, hopefully tomorrow. So, better pray for more lockdown. I don't really want more lockdown either, you know. It's good to get out. I want to take the kids to the snow. That's what I want to do. Anyway. See you later, guys. Stihl for life.